try to be honest and keep it modest, but the longer that I live, it's becoming a harder process. I'm famous and so gone, my favorite's the slow song. Cause it just feel like heartbreak, but they finish it so strong. In my own lane, but I flirt with that fine line. The top my destination, high stepping like prime time. My women, they get better with age, and I like fine wine. Had a couple crazies, that's worse than a ticking time bomb. I be in meetings and random numbers be calling me. She be like, my friend used to talk to you, you stalking me. That's why I deal with people that's cut from the same cloth as me. Put that phone down and I'm asking like what that offer be. Keep that money coming, bruh, get it here on time. Stay away from suckers that be hating from behind. Lot of baby dames in the streets dropping dimes. If that went above your head, learn to read between the lines.
What's good, 2K team? Lethal back with another banger for y'all today. Today's video, I'm going over 2K21 builds for my team, Lethal team, alright? As you see me, I'm strolling into 2K20 with this 65 overall slash and playmaker. This essentially was a build I was going to grind out to try to reach elite, but considering the fact that the game is so close, I was like, I'm not about to waste the money when I could just spend that money on 2K21 for the PS4. As you can see, I was at 80%, and at this point in time, I possibly could have hit it by now, but you know, that is what it is. I'm gonna just leave it at 80%. But let's go ahead and take a look at this particular build, this slash and playmaker. It's a pure yellow shooting guard. The reason why I like it as shooting guard is you'll see everything maxed out. I'm going to start with the blue and then I'm going to max everything else out so y'all can see what it would look like, you know, as far as stats being maxed out, and then you got to add the +5. The key thing, the reason why I put it as shooting guard is because I feel like you get a couple of more badges, especially defensively, than I would if I was at point guard. So that's why I kind of make this build as shooting guard. But the key thing is, looking at 2K21 demo, I'm not going to be able to get all these type of stats, so I have to make the most out of what the demo gives me. Alright, they definitely nerf defense, they definitely nerf shooting. They kind of want you to pick your build, and whatever your build is, that's what they want you to be, which is kind of a 2K18 feel. I don't know how the community is going to feel about that, but nonetheless, this is the build I plan on going with. It's RIP to my two-way point forward that I have been for the past 3 years. But they nerfed my build so bad in the demo that I'm hoping just on the PS5 version, with it being a new game and all, that, you know, I can bring my build back. But if I do get it on PS4, this is definitely the build I'm going to make. So let's just jump into it. You know, on the 2K21 demo, I'm going to start with me, and I'm going to go with everybody on the team, telling you what build I think y'all should make. Keep in mind, whatever y'all plan on making, make that. You know, this is just strictly what I feel like would be good for team. But whatever builds y'all have, especially since I can't be what I want to be and y'all don't have to make builds around me anymore, because I'm pretty much going to be at the 1. And this gives it room for me to find another point guard that's just as good as me doing what I'm doing. So make whatever build y'all want. This is just a suggestion for team based off of how well we played at the end of 2K20. You know, we was pretty much unstoppable. As you can see, I can't get as much blue with this build, but you know, this is kind of the build I'm going to go with. I started off maxing out my playmaking enough to get 29 badges, and I'm going to make that 30. Got 12 shooting badges. And the thing about the finishing, as you see me with 27 extra badge points, I could put it all on close shot to where I can get 4 finishing. But to me, after playing the demo, I can live with slithering. And I much rather have more defensive badges than not to, considering the fact that I enjoy guarding other point guards. That's like a strength of mine. I mean, I can guard everything on the floor, but I like the pressure I can put on a point guard. Looking at the defense that we play, it's either going to be me or Dynasty in that regard. So I definitely would rather have more defensive badges than to have those couple extra finisher ones. So I'm gonna be 6'7", 220 pounds. I could max out my arms, but I don't really get a boost from that, and plus my 3-point shooting takes a huge dive. It's only going to be +4 this year. Once you get to 99, it's not going to be +5 like it was in 2K20, so I'm going to just leave my arms at default. Have a 72 3 ball, they'll go to 76. I have an 85 ball handle, it'll go to 89, so I'm going to live with that. Of course, for me, I'm going to pick the playmaking takeover. It's going to be a lot of ISO ball for me in 2K21. Unless they change something on the PS5, y'all can expect a lot of ISO from Lethal. Alright. Moving on, RDH Hulk. He already told me he wants to make his build a small forward. Again, I encourage y'all to make what the hell y'all want to make. I do want him to consider making this build at the 2, but he says he wants to go at the 3. Now, of course, he can either go with the little bit more blue and green, or he can go with the green and blue even. I suggest that he go with the blue and green even off the strength that he can get the Hall of Fame shooting badges, which he can't with the other pie chart. So, but like I said, I do want him to consider making that build at the 2, just to have a little bit better playmaking ability. And he told me the physical profile he wants to go with is the even one or the balance. I suggested he might want to consider the speed off the strength of a lot of people's strength is not going to be that high anyway. As when we get to the big man portion, you'll see what I mean. As you see, his strength is only 67. Keep that in mind once we get to the bigs. Alright, so of course I'm going to max out shooting. Pass accuracy and ball handling, I'm going to max those things out. And then defensively, I'm going to max out perimeter defense, lateral quickness, steal, block, and defensive rebounding. Alright, from here, I'm going to max out drive and dunk, drive and layup, and close shot. Keep in mind, you need a 40 standing dunk, which is already at 44, in order to get, the easy dunks around the basket. You need at least a 40 standing dunk to get those. Alright. Now, of course, if he does not want to have, he doesn't really need so much playmaking. He can live with 3 because all he needs is quick first step. And he can take this and get probably 1 extra defensive badge if he wants to. Also, he doesn't necessarily need 22 shooting badges, so at that point, if he don't want post fade on this guy, he can take that off and put it more towards playmaking and get a few extra playmaking and put it more towards defense so he can have some extra defense. It's just some options for RDH Hulk, but I'm pretty sure he's going to perfect this build over time anyway. So this is just my suggestion. I always prefer to have more defense than not to. I suggest you go about 6'7". Of course, you can go 6'6", but I kind of suggest 6'7" just because I feel like that's what everybody's going to be this year. That's like the new metas. It was 6'5" last year, 6'7" this year. Of course, I max out the wingspan just to get the driving dunks, and once you hit 99, you'll have all the contact dunks, and of course I want you to take the slash and takeover like you did for the team. Next up, Dynasty. I know Dynasty is probably considering this build right here. I picked number 8 because he's in respect for Kobe, but I know he kind of was thinking about making this red and green build, or making the red a little bit more red and a little less green at small forward. But to be honest, I really suggest that he goes ahead and make this build a shooting guard. The reason being, again, you get a little bit better ball handling, and at this point, he can pick the one with a little bit more red if he wants to for the higher defense, which is fine because he's a good shooter anyway. But you might want to consider the red and green build just for the Hall of Fame shooting badges. Either way, it works. So first thing I'm gonna do is max out all the shooting. Alright. After I max out all the shooting for this build, I'm gonna max out perimeter defense, lateral quickness, steal, blocking, defensive rebounding. As you can see, these are very high, and he's going to get a high number of badges when we just maxing out those. Again, I don't think strength is going to play a bigger role, so I'm not worried about interior defense or offensive rebounding. It seems like it's going to be a more offensive-friendly game anyway. From here, I'm going to put up drive and dunk and drive and layup. You don't really need close shot at this point. I suggest putting up stand and dunk. But if you don't want to put up stand and dunk to the 40, just to get those basic stand and dunks, of course you can max out your defense a little bit more to get another defensive badge. Again, I suggest 6'7" because I feel like it's going to be the meta. More than likely, this build is going to be the one guarding ball, especially when we're in different zone looks. But if we start off with man-to-man, it's probably going to be guarding this man. I think off-ball players are going to be big this year. I think ISO is still going to be a thing, but I think since more players are trying, as I suggest to go with the lockdown takeover, since more players are trying to be more offensively capable, you know, then I think it's going to be imperative that we have people that can guard, you know, different positions at different times, you know. Especially since I don't have red in my build this year, I'm probably going to throw Dynasty, Cincy, T-Will, Reggie. I'm probably going to throw you guys at the ball a little bit more so I can, I know it sounds crazy, but kind of save my energy for offensive purposes. I'm not one to really hide on defense, but at the same time, the way the game is, you have to kind of play to your strengths. And it looks like we might have to play more of a meta this year, which I'm not happy with, but it is what it is. Next up for T-Will, I suggest you make your build from 2K20 as close as possible. The only big difference is you're not going to have as much playmaking, which is not a big deal anyway, because when you have more playmaking, they push you closer to the 1, which I want you closer to the 4 and the 5 anyway. And as we go over this build, you'll see why I want you to kind of stay with what you had. The only suggestion I might have is for you to lower your weight, or the strength of you'll get more perimeter defense and lateral quickness. Again, when you look at these stats, all you need is 70 overall on their stats for it to really matter. 85 and above is elite on any stat, but you know, 70 is something you can live with. So as you can see, I was able to put his standing dunk to 37, which once I raise his height to 6'9", it's going to go to 40. So he have 3 finishing badges, 19 shooting, 1 playmaking, 21 defense. Again, playmaking is not going to matter anyway. So, you know, this is kind of what I have for you. Your decent speed at 75, plus 4, get it to 79. But as you can see, you're going to take that dip by getting a little taller, but you still will be able to reach that 70 speed. As if I raise your height, your strength goes up. Again, I don't think strength is going to be all that important, so I could suggest you kind of come down to 220. If you notice, you have a 70 perimeter defense off rip. From here, you max out your arms. I understand that your 3-ball sucks. You got to keep in mind, I'm probably going to run floor general, so it's going to raise that plus dimer, plus you already know how to shoot. You'll be fine. And of course, I want you to take the lock takeover. You know, you're going to be a guy that we're still going to play the same style of ball for the most part, but you know, we just have to adjust with the game. For Capone, I suggest that you make a center. For Dev, I suggest that you make a power forward. Your build would be after this. But Capone, I suggest that you keep your center build that you had. For this physical profile, it's not really going to matter too much. All you need is around 65 speed to be fast. From what I tested, this build is pretty crazy. So first thing I'm going to do is max out your shooting, and then I'm going to max out your defense. Again, you'll be at center, so playmaking is not going to be that important. But maxing out everything on defense will be. I know last year you kind of didn't really touch perimeter defense or lateral, but it's important because we switch everything on defense before we decide to play some type of zone. So you want to have those things up. And the reason why it looks so bad now is because when you start off at center, they start you at 7 foot. Once I lower your height down, the perimeter defense and lateral will go up anyway. And like I said, you'll have a lot of help on defense, so it don't really matter. I just need you standing dunk at least 40. You're probably not going to get a lot of driving layup opportunities, but this is about what I need you to do. Last year you was 7 foot. I just want you to come down to 6'11". Now you could drop down to 6'10", but I kind of like how you protected the rim and everything, so 6'11" is about where I want you to be. A lot of people don't know this. You was only 230 at center. I like that. So you can come down to 230. I'm not worried about strength. I just care about the attributes. Like I said, if you notice, Reggie's strength is kind of higher than the center, but strength doesn't really matter in 2K21 based off the demo. And I'm pretty sure it's going to stay like that. You max out your arms. Again, I'm going to be running floor general. And I know you had the rim protector takeover. I suggest you go rebounding. You're already a great rim protector. Adding this to your game to be a dominant rebounder, because you're going to protect the rim well anyway. It just helps us out a little bit more. Moving on to Dev. We probably going to be playing 2v2 more than any other combination on the team. And if it ain't broke, ain't no reason to fix it. Now, of course, I won't be red and yellow like I was, but I'm going to be just as dominant with this build. I'm going to be better offensively to the point where we shouldn't be giving the ball up that much anyway. I still want to switch everything on defense. Again, strength ain't that big of a deal. I'm going to switch with you. I don't think people is making these, big type of centers. If they do, they making post scores, and with the defensive badges that you will have, you will be able to guard post scores. Alright, so I'm not really worried too much. We're going to do our thing in twos like we've been doing. Let's try to grind to legend together. But of course you're going to max out defense, max out shooting. Again, playmaking ain't going to be that big for you, because for the team, you're going to slide in between the 4 and the 5. More than likely you're going to play a lot of 5, because I haven't seen you and Capone together do the schedule. But if you and Capone happen to be there, I would rather you play the 4 and Capone play the 5, and we'll just play zone or switch everything the way we normally do, and we just see how it works. Now you got 4 extra badges, or skill points rather. I suggest you just put it on pass accuracy. Alright. Again, it's not really going to matter. I suggest you use that one playmaking badge on bailout. Now for you, I actually suggest that you come down to 6'10". I know Dynasty was saying 6'9" in the group chat, but I like you at 6'10". You're still going to be fast. As you look at your perimeter defense, is pretty high. Once you get to 99, that's going to be in the 70s. Once you get to 99, your speed is going to be in the 70s, which is crazy. Of course, you max out your arms. Of course, like I said, I'll probably be running floor general, so your 3-point shot will be a little bit higher. And I want you to take the rim protect and take over like you did before. Alright, now last but certainly not least is Cincy. I know Cincy, they kind of nerfed the fuck out of your build. That yellow and red was pretty much perfect. You can speed boost, get contact dunks. Now they kind of took it away from you, and you're probably thinking, I want you to make this red and green build. Alright. Now notice I put you at the 2. I suggest you go with the blue and green, but pick a little bit more blue than green, just so you can have those contact dunks like you did before. Now of course you can pick the regular blue and green for better shooting, but in my opinion, you can go with a little bit more blue, just so you can have more advantages going to the rim like you did in 2K20. Of course, you're going to pick the speed, physical profile. First thing I'm going to max out is all your playmaking. So you can still dribble the way you did before. I know you had the glass cleaning takeover. There's no way they're really going to get it to you as a shooting guard. But the big thing for me, I still want you to be able to shoot. And I still want you to be able to like drive to the rim and dunk. Do the things that you're good at. Defensively, all you gotta do is play within the system. Like even if we play twos, just keep playing the way we've been playing. We'll be the same size anyway, so we're just gonna switch regardless. But yeah, other than that, just put a perimeter defense, lateral quickness, steal, and defensive rebounding. You can put a block as well to have a couple extra defensive badges. You're not really going to take too many close shots. You're probably just going to run to the rim and dunk it. But you can put it up a little bit. Your standing dunk is already past 40, so you're good there. You'll be fast. You can shoot. You can play make it. You can play some defense and you can finish. That's all you really need. You know, put Hall of Fame slithery and probably one on contact finisher or consistent finisher. I suggest you go 6'6", because I think that's something that you like. If you want to be a team player, of course you can go to 6'7". Just keep in mind it's going to drop your ball handle a little bit, but at 6'6", once you get to +4, you'll have an 80 ball handle, plus boost would be 85. You'll be able to speed boost and stuff like that. But yeah, this is pretty much the build I have for you. I think it catered to your strengths that you had in 2K20. And I hope everybody on the team enjoyed this video, man. For Cincy, look at how many takeover opportunities you had. Now, I suggest you take lockdown to help with your defense, or you take playmaking. But of course, it's up to you. But Lethal Team, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been Lethal. I will see you guys in the group chat, and I will see you guys on 2K21. Alright, I'm out.